The Creepypasta Backstory's origin. Jack Lost, also known as Eyeless Jack. I bet a lot of you know of a creepypasta named Eyeless Jack, the cannibal that eats one of your kidneys. I bet most of you assume he was born like that, with no eyes and grey skin. But you'd be dead wrong. He was normal, like you, until Ace, Hector, and Ryan came along. I will tell you his story, but once you read it, be wary. Jack looked around when he heard the sound of something slamming into a locker, or someone. His eyes landed on Ace, pinning another boy to a locker. The boy who was pinned punched Ace, who, in turn, stumbled back. Everyone around them started to chant, "Fight! Fight! Fight!" Everyone except Evan. He just got away from there as fast as he could. Thank goodness it was the end of the day. He wasn't like normal 13-year-old boys, not even close. He loved blood, but not when others spilled it. He couldn't stand watching people get bullied unless he was doing it. But the strangest thing about Jack could be the fact that he drank blood. No, it's not like he kept water bottles of blood in his room. He would sometimes cut himself just to lick away the blood. Things like that. But he stopped doing that. The doctors were worried. His mom was kind of pissed, and he knew he was hurting himself. Evan doesn't quite know why anymore, but he could not even be in the same room as a bully. He hated them that much. He wasn't a bully himself, but he wasn't bullied either. He hated more than bullies, though. He also hated to see what other people were doing to themselves and the planet. Years he's hated bullying. It's just getting worse. He can't stand the generation he's in, how screwed up the world is now. He was done. Just done. Jack ran into the doors of his house, throwing his backpack down on the ground. He grabbed a knife from the kitchen and held it up to his eyes. He took a deep breath and cut them out. He screamed in pain as his vision was shattered. Blood poured from the empty sockets as he fell down to his knees. His mind was foggy. He didn't know what was happening around him. He didn't realize it as the fire alarms started going off. Only did he realize it when he felt the heat of the flames around him. However, when he did, it was already too late. The pain mixing with the heat was too much. He fell limp to the floor, unconscious. When he woke up, he still had no vision. His entire body ached, and he didn't know where he was. He had someone come into the room he was in. He turned his head towards the noise. "Darling, it's good that you're awake," some woman said. He already didn't like her. "You're going to be all right," she said. She sounded a little too worried, though. Wait, she's trying to tell me I'm going to be all right? I have no fucking eyes, he thought. Then he clenched his jaw. He reached out to his side, felt a table with many tools on it. He grabbed the first one his fingers found, a scalpel. Jack launched himself towards the woman's voice. She screamed, and Jack shoved the scalpel into her stomach. He felt the blood on his hands, and something else in his hand. It didn't feel normal. He wasn't sure what it was, but he knew it was covered in blood. He bit into it, and loved it. Jack ate it all, still not knowing what it was, and then stood up and stumbled out of the room. It took time, a long time, for him to find the way out of the hospital and back onto the streets. When he did, he went into the building closest to him. Screams from the people inside erupted. He stumbled around the store, ignoring the screams, and his hands found a mask. He pulled it on, the blood from his sockets spilling over the edges of the holes of the eyes, but it had turned black. More screams. Jack couldn't take it anymore. He killed the first person he found, then the next. until the screams were gone. He looked around and realized he could see. Well, mostly. Everything was reddish, blackish, tinted, and it was very blurry. But he could. Jack suddenly realized what he had eaten was a kidney. However, that didn't bother him. In fact, he wanted more. Jack took the kidneys from the people he had just killed and ran. Never again will he be known as Jack Lost, the boy who drank blood and hated bullying. He was Eyeless Jack, the kidney-eating killer. He had a blue mask, black blood coming from the sockets, and skin that was burned grey. Now that you know, be wary. He could be coming for your kidney. Next.